Hey there, and welcome to the Overcomers Overcoming podcast. It is great to have you join us. This podcast series features those who have gained victory over a life encounter. With that life experience, we encourage those who are experiencing something that might seem to be insurmountable. We advance and encourage others by passing forward evaluated life experiences. We have three objectives in this podcast series. We want to encourage those who are engaged in any type of life encounter by offering to walk with you to help you gain victory over anything that might seem impossible. We want to share our experience to help you. Our second objective is to help you develop a confident resolve that there are multiple options to get past any life obstacle. It's a matter of thinking into the situation. Our third objective is to help you with critical thinking skills. If you are facing a dilemma resulting from a previous decision you wish you could reverse, we want to help you think into all of the facts and factors involved in making an informed decision. I'm Ron Cooper, founder of the Cooper Culture. I'm with my wife and business manager, Marty. Together, we are the Cooper Culture Company who is sponsoring this podcast series.
Today we feature Katie Selby, who earlier in life was assessed as having a learning disability and was told she's not college material. I love being around people with the right attitude of, I'll prove you wrong. Katie had the attitude, I have the ability to learn. My learning style is a little bit different from some others. She surrounded herself with people who chose to adapt to her, and she did very well getting a college degree, and she is now working with others who are assessed as having a learning disability, or I choose to say just have a learning style that differs from some other people. But Marty, what are some takeaways we can all learn from Katie?
Ron, very similar to yours. Katie has an inspiring story of one, like you said, a different learning style. But to her credit, she did not let teachers, students, or others intimidate her into thinking she would never be college material. She went to college, graduated, and like you said, now is working with students with a different learning style.
It's a great opportunity to know the impact of what people can do when we choose to work with them. Let's listen and learn together. Katie, it's good to have you with us. Our listeners are going to be very interested in your story. By your definition, and some people said, Katie, you're not college material, and you are a person who adapted to and the various learning styles. You proved people wrong, and you did make good in spite of maybe some people would say being labeled or otherwise being told that, Katie, you're probably not the kind of person who can do things maybe you'd like to do. Katie, thank you for joining us. It's going to be very interesting to learn of your life story and how you have completed a lot of things that some people thought you would not be able to.
Okay. Diagnosed at the age of 3 years old with a language and did not communicated with and cues, and I did not say my first full sentence. I was 5 years old, and parents and I do not know what those first words were. And at the age of 5 years old, I was with a language or learning disability in math, written expression, reading comprehension, and I was special education system from pre-K to high school. I have advocacy skills until I was in high school. Teacher come to me and say that, and explain to me to ask questions if the answer or location to go to the general education, and I don't think I would be here without her.
How did you, I guess we'd have to ask you, looking back earlier in your life, how did you react to, how did you process the terms learning disability? I'm supposing, Katie, at the early age, you just accepted whatever was told to you. But as you got life experience and you look back on that, what do you think of it now? Is it a learning disability, or is it more so just adapting to your learning style?
When I was younger, I just kind of let it go and let it and learned to adapt to my learning all the way growing up.
Did kids in school make fun of you? Were you bullied? Did you almost believe that at some point in your life I would not be able to learn?
Yes, in seventh grade, a person who bullied me, and that a little down, but I just kind of let it go. I didn't build any with teachers and talk to them.
How did you overcome the bullying? In other words, the bullier frequently wants to demean you, make you think less of yourself. They want to be superior to you, any of those terms. That's my interpretation. But it sounds as if, Katie, you chose not to believe that person, and the bullying, the bullier didn't have any meaning to you. Is that how you worked that?
Yes, it really didn't have much meaning to me. I just want to just let it go and just hung out with that understood me.
That is good. I hope our listeners heard what you just said. I'm going to use the term, Katie, you found a support group, those who believed in you, those who believe that you can accomplish things, and you chose to stay with that group of people. Is that the way it was then?
Yes, yes, I really call my friends a support group. We're just friends like everyone else and each other's, and we just help each other like other people would help their friend.
That is great, Katie. Now, I'm assuming even today you have a support group, and I mean that in more so in the context of group of friends who believe in you. They believe that, Katie, you can do whatever you choose to do. They're going to support you in whatever way you need. Well, let's just call it, that group would be a mutual support group. Do you still have that today?
Yes, I do have that too.
And there are a lot of people, there are a lot of our listeners who do not have that kind of support group. They maybe have been told in life, maybe from their parents, friends, any number of people, you are not going to amount to much. You're not going to be able to do any number of negative things. And I really admire those who choose not to believe whatever they're told. They will surround themselves with positive thinking people, and together you'll think into and think through how you can achieve what you want to achieve. And Katie, you've got some very admirable qualities about you in that regard.
Thank you so much.
Katie, if there's a listener right now, and it may be a parent whose child is being bullied at school for various reasons, how would you work with that parent? How would you work with that child to help them never believe anything negative said to or about them? There are some people who would say that's easier to hear than it is to put into practice. It's difficult for some people to just get past any negative told to them.
I would just tell parents to really advocate for the children. Advocacy skills will help in their future through education. And with a bully, they can then learn, oh, I can go here, or I can go to this counselor with them and mediate the conflict.
All right. For the person who, say, maybe, I'm going to use the term learning challenged. I thought at one point I am learning challenged, but Katie, I think it's a matter for you, what I'm interpreting, that you learned your learning style and maybe got with those who chose to adapt to your learning style. Is that a lot of how you maybe overcame any negativity said to or about you?
Yes, I am all about like learning about self and wanting to speak about this because I received that as a young, never received skills of how to be a self advocate, and I was in high school. So I wanting to help people with disabilities, and teachers know that it's a very important skill.
Did you take classes along with everyone else, or did the professors, the teachers, let's say just for example, allow you extra time to take tests? I'm not suggesting you were given special exceptions, but I do know for some of us, we just need a little extra time to process information to come up with the right answer. I'm curious, did the teachers adapt to you, work with you somewhat in that regard to maybe give you a little extra time to take tests or anything like that?
I was given extra time to take, and I was given patient of questions. Not to say that they helped me with the answers, they just the questions, so I'd answer the question. And I was also in class, meaning I had a general educator and a special education teacher. Each special education teacher would help the people with in the class, as well as general education students.
I want to make sure our listeners know nothing in what I just asked implied or even had a thought that any of the teachers, professors gave you answers. Not at all. Nothing like that. But rather, some of us process information a little bit different from some others. It may take us just a little bit more time to process a question, but many people like you, Katie, are very smart. It's not a matter of not having the intelligence. We just process information just a little bit different from some other people. We might need just a little more time to reach an answer, a decision, or something like that. But we are capable of thinking in spite of what some other people may think about us. Does that pretty much reflect the way you thought of yourself?
Yes, just I need just some extra boost and extra time to come up with the right.
Katie, I think what you just said is very, very important to our listeners. Many of us can process information and we can think into, it's not that we have a learning disability. We just need a little bit more time, maybe than another person, to read, process, and think about the solution. But it's a matter of just giving me that opportunity. Some people might be able to come about the answer in 17 seconds. I might need 30 seconds to come about the answer, but I can do it in time. That's how I'm processing, maybe how you process some amount of information. Did I describe, at least maybe in part, sometimes the way you think?
Yes, you described that perfectly.
Learning styles in our neurological wiring, I use that term, determine how we process information. Many of us sometimes feel we just can't learn something in a certain style, and largely that's true because the learning style being taught does not align with our best learning style. But given another way to present the information, we can get it. There are some times we need more time to process information, but it's a matter of listening to and wanting to adapt to other people. When we choose to do that, we will communicate better, we'll have better relationships, we will learn how to more effectively relate with and to others. I want to encourage you to take the time to listen and assess so we can adapt. No, thank you for that, Katie, but it's so very important that our listeners know there are many learning styles, and it's a matter of, I believe, Marty and I both, adapting to a person's learning style. And we need to choose to do that. Many people can process the information. It's just learning to adapt to and work with that person. And I'm a believer, Katie, everybody has a place. Everyone has strengths. Everyone has a place to work. everyone can do what they choose to do. It's a matter of adapting to each other. And it sounds as if you had professors, you have a support group who are willing to do just that.
Mhm.
What type work do you do right now?
I am a educator for children with disabilities. I am at the level. I help support their community needs and their needs. I also teach them how to be their kid.
Talk to us about the word disability. Is that word sometimes a little bit offensive to you, or do you just accept it? Or is it just a matter, or is it better instead of the word disability to use the term, I have a learning ability? It's just maybe a little bit different than yours.
I accept the term disability, but I also think that we all and everyone learns differently in the world.
As you are working with those who maybe are labeled as learning disabled, do you adapt to their learning style? Is that what it is, that everyone can learn? It's just a matter of learning what that learning style is and adapting to it?
Yeah, it's like you've gotta look at the child, find out how they learn visually, learn auditory, if they learn a little bit.
So how do you adapt to, how do you learn a person's learning style? Can you do that just within maybe a few minutes of talking with them? Does it take some assessment tests, or how do you do that?
It takes some observation. It takes a couple in a new student, some observation to see how they learn best.
I think what I'm hearing you say, Katie, it doesn't necessarily take an assessment test, but rather by talking with that person, observing, maybe they're listening, their eyes and so forth, you can pretty well learn what that person's learning style is.
Even by their language as well, and just by other teachers and with things that learn best.
So is there any limitation to those you're teaching? In other words, would you say to anybody, is there anybody who would demonstrate that, just like your email address, you don't impress me as being college material? Is everyone potentially learning able to be a college student? I want to very quickly say, Katie, I'm not an advocate. Everybody needs to go to college. Some do, but not all. But everyone can learn if we choose to adapt to their learning style. That's kind of a very broad question.
Depends on for the person, if they're capable of college, and if they're not, they find a career that's best for them.
I think what you just said is everybody is employable, or let's just say most people are employable. It's just a matter of finding the best job for that person, for their skills, their strengths, but everyone is employable. Is that a fair statement, an accurate statement?
Yes.
And I think that's very true as well. Everyone is employable. Everyone has a place where they can work. It's a matter of us working with these people to determine their strengths and then work within those strengths and maximize that person's potential. And it sounds as if that's who you are, Katie, that you were told and early on that, well, you're probably not going to be able to. And your attitude was, and it's a great mindset, well, I'll prove you wrong, and I'm going to get a college degree. And you did just that.
Thank you.
But there are many people who need to be inspired by people like you and just say, we can work through this. We will, we can. It's a matter of being willing to work with me. Did you have to learn math, science, reading, maybe a little bit different from some others? Was that part of your learning?
Math, it took me, I don't know, to get through math in college. I had private tutors because the tutors in college didn't really my learning style on how to teach me math.
To your credit, to their credit, they adapted to you. And even though it may have taken just a little bit longer, you did learn And it's a
Yeah.
matter of you work with me, I'll do my part, says Katie, and together I'm going to get this college degree. That's what I think I'm hearing you say.
Yes. A lot of support people in my who helped me get my degree. They saw that I really wanted it.
And I can tell in your voice, your demeanor, I'm going to get what I want and I will do whatever I need to do. And that's a great mindset to have, that you will work through any challenges you may have to overcome to achieve that greater good. That's what I'm hearing, Katie. And some people, it seems from my life experience, choose to give up too early and not pursue their dream goals. Well, Katie, you are a great inspiration to the many of those who may choose to give up on what they're pursuing. I think your encouragement would be, don't you ever give up. Don't you
Right.
ever
Don't
give
ever
up.
give up.
You find someone who will support you, stay with you, and work with you, and you will achieve everything you want in life. Katie, thank you for being that inspiration. Thank you for working with those who need just a little more time to process, and you're going to help them achieve everything they want to achieve. Thank you, Katie. Appreciate your sharing.
You're welcome.
Some of us are held back from being who we can be because of things said to or about us, the way we processed even well-meaning information, well-meaning conversations. But sometimes we process information such that we believe the negative that comes from various conversations. I like being around people who have the perseverance that I will determine how to achieve the greater good. Katie is that example. She was told she's not college material, but she thought, no, if I learn how to learn and others choose to adapt themselves to her learning style, and that applies, I believe, to each of us. We each have a learning style. As we choose to adapt ourselves to others, as we choose to be persistent in learning about, in having the drive, the true grit, the determination to pursue those goals we want to achieve, and we surround ourselves with people who believe, and it is a mindset, that we will overcome, we will achieve that greater good. When we have those factors put together and we determine a strategy of how we'll get from where we are to where we want to be, again, we surround ourselves with people who believe in us, those who inspire or encourage us, we will achieve the greater good. We'll overcome the limiting beliefs that hold us back from achieving the greater good. Katie just knew she was able to achieve a college degree if she had her mind to it. She chose to work with those who wanted to work with her. The two adapted to each other. She has her college degree and she is achieving a life goal she wanted to achieve, and now she's benefiting others through her life experience. Many of us can do just that by passing forward our life experiences and achieve the great fulfillment we can have by passing forward those and benefiting others through our life experience. Many of us do have limiting beliefs. We have chosen to believe what others have said about us, and those limiting beliefs sometimes are keeping us from achieving the greater good. I was that way at an earlier age, and it was through coaching that I overcame those limiting beliefs, and I have been able to achieve many things that I thought in earlier life I would not be able to achieve. Coaching can benefit everyone. Marty and I are being coached. Marty and I are certified life coaches through the Maxwell Leadership Certified Team. Let's work together. Let's demonstrate to you how we can help you become the very best God created you to be by helping you overcome any limiting beliefs you may have to experience that totally fulfilled life. Let's schedule a 30-minute complimentary coaching session where we'll demonstrate to you how we can help you overcome any limiting beliefs to help you achieve that which you have as a goal, that fulfilling achievement that you can have. Contact us at ron@thecooperculture.com or Marty, M-A-R-T-Y, at thecooperculture.com. We hope we can warrant a 5-star rating with this podcast series. We hope you will want to share this podcast with your Facebook friends, your LinkedIn connections, your Twitter and Instagram communities. The more we share, the greater the opportunity we'll have to generate ideas amongst ourselves that will benefit others, and the greater the benefit we will be to others as we share. We hope we can also have the opportunity to speak with your group with our life experiences. You can contact me through espeakers.com and search for Ron Cooper, F4 Pilot. I look forward to the opportunity to speak with your group, to pass on life experiences, to inspire your people to achieve maybe those things they thought they would not be able to achieve, but listening to others who have overcome various life events inspire others to achieve. Let's work together. Let's advance others. We look forward to working with you.